Afghanistan, the country that everyone is talking about lately, the country the Taliban took over in just a matter of days, and the United States suddenly pulled out from. Had the United States stayed in, no doubt the war would have continued on. But for how long? Only time would tell, as we would keep hearing about US and Taliban forces continuing to fight one another. But what if the war ended years ago and the Taliban were no more?
Thanks to our military, our allies, and the brave fighters of Afghanistan, the Taliban regime is coming to an end.
During the year of 2001, the United States and NATO forces went into Afghanistan to topple Al-Qaeda forces, along with anyone or any group helping and aiding Al-Qaeda. This included the Taliban. Even though the missions were a success on beating Al-Qaeda and killing Osama bin Laden, the Taliban still remained, as attacks and explosions continued across Afghanistan. The Taliban claiming much of the attacks. If the Taliban was defeated, all of Afghanistan would be safe from the Taliban and their attacks, and probably even open up to tourists coming to visit this beautiful country. A country once dangerous, now at peace, inviting people from all over the world to explore. In fact, some parts of Afghanistan were starting to open up, becoming safe enough to visit. Take Kandahar, the former capital of Afghanistan, where Osama bin Laden and Mohammed Omar, the leader of the Taliban, lived. It was safe enough to visit in 2020, and had Taliban been defeated, it wouldn't just have been places such as Kandahar that would have been safe to visit, but all of the country. It was difficult for US troops to train the Afghan National Army and get them ready for battle. It is said that there were 300,000 ANA troops and around 78,000 Taliban fighters, and yet the Taliban still managed to take over Afghanistan. US and NATO forces were training Afghan forces as they engaged in firefights with the Taliban. But the US was hoping one day Afghanistan would be able to handle the situation by themselves, for many believe it is up to the people to take control of their own country, rather than leave it up to another country to continuously fight their battles. However, with the Taliban always around, feeling like a thorn, making the situation difficult, it's hard to train while fighting at the same time. If the Taliban was defeated, it may make training a little easier, as now the United States and Afghan forces could have as much time to train and practice with one another, the same thing that the United States has done with South Korea and other of its allies. Without fighting an enemy, training one's military comes a little easier. With the war done and the enemy gone, now the world can move forward. And what better way for the United States and the Afghan government to move forward with one another than to start trading with each other? Afghanistan is rich with minerals and untapped resources, having huge amounts of resources from copper, natural gas, gold, oil, lithium, and much more. It would only make sense that the United States, along with other countries in the world, would want a huge part of what Afghanistan has. This, no doubt, helping invest in Afghanistan's economy. With Afghanistan having a new government and a new military, no doubt they would need the best weapons. The weapons the United States and other nations that fought in the country used to help fight the war may sell the weapons to Afghanistan. Probably the weapons they didn't want to keep, or had too much of. As for other weapons, we would be hearing about the United States shipping the weapons out. Unfortunately, that didn't happen.
We don't have a complete picture, obviously, of where every article of defense materials has gone, but certainly a fair amount of it has fallen into the hands of the Taliban. And obviously, we don't have a sense that they are going to readily hand it over to us at the airport.
How the future would exactly be for Afghanistan had the Taliban been defeated is unclear. But as always, the world continues to try and move forward. And without a doubt, the people and the government of Afghanistan would do the same, as they work with countries that border them, along with the United States, Britain, Canada, and Western countries on trade and helping stop other terrorist organizations so it does not come back to its borders again, and the people of Afghanistan can enjoy a future free of that life forever. However, there may be hope for Afghanistan, for the president of Afghanistan, Ashraf Ghani, fled the country, but Vice President of Afghanistan, Amrullah Saleh, has declared himself the new official president of Afghanistan, having over 10,000 Afghan fighters ready to take on the Taliban. What will happen next? Only time will tell. If you enjoyed, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share.